This episode of Inside Golf Podcast is brought to you by Inside Sports Network.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Boston Capital Toodle Steve on the Hold the Green podcast.
All right, we are live. Tapping birdie.
All right, Carson Young is here.
I bet Ludwig at 28.
Let's go. I bet
You
him
do
at,
too?
I bet him at 25.
Low sevens. I think there's some guys in here we like.
Harris English at 7,300.
I love Brian Harmon at 3.5% this week.
Okay, welcome in FedEx St. Jude's Championship, the FedEx Cup playoffs. I'm here on a Monday afternoon with who I would say is the hottest man in golf betting. That's 2 in a row for RB. Congratulations on Cam Young, RB.
That was a fun one. We don't often get a sweat-free Sunday, barring the first hole, but he quickly bounced back and made it a very enjoyable weekend. So yeah, big weekend for all of us. I'm gonna shout out PJ, Clark, Joseph Lamagna. We've been here for a while.
Yeah, I have to be honest, I didn't get a chance to watch much of it outside of like when I got home from the airport late last night. It was the Golf Channel replay, and he was at that point up by, did he ever touch 10 strokes?
9.
Yeah, pretty good. I'm joined as well on my left by my guy Rishi, joining us on a Monday. You probably know him from the Wednesday show if you're an ISN subscriber, but how are we doing today, my friend?
All is well. Joining from across the pond, so it's a little bit later in the evening here, but fun to join you guys. And I tailed RB last week, so joined him in the winner circle, which was awesome. So I appreciate the pick, RB.
Seriously, I mean,
Yeah.
that's what everybody should be doing at this point, including myself. It's been a pretty magical season for RB, and I gotta say, man, like, I don't know, where do you marry long-term talent versus course fit? Because I think we can all agree that, like, as far as course fits go for Cam Young, there are definitely better golf courses for him, and I think that's what kept me off him at the Wyndham, is that he wasn't that traditional Siwoo Kim, Lucas Glover course fit of like a guy that just finds a million fairways. Not that he hasn't played well in positional golf courses in the past, but was this more of like, oh, I actually see something sneakily in the driving accuracy more than people are giving him credit for, or it's just like, it's a long-term buy. I have stubbornness on this guy's talent and course fit be damned.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think one of the things I said last week is like he had 3 really good weeks in a row and then like 3 not so good weeks in a row. And like, I just wasn't ready to overreact either way. I mean, we've seen him compete in majors, and then you made the point, he has been good on club down golf courses. And so when you talk about like, he's not that far removed from a T4 at the US Open, a T4 in Canada. He's played well on these courses, including at Sedgefield. I just felt like the number was too big, and I'm glad I was there, because if I wasn't there yesterday, it would be a very, very painful Monday.
How was the Wyndham otherwise for you, Rishi? I gotta say, my pool, I was very shocked at how the rest of the leaderboard shaped out. Like, it was not a good DFS pool for me whatsoever. I happened to have 1 5 of 6 that saved me, where just all of my good calls were in the same lineup, and I played in some higher entry fee, smaller contest stuff last week. Like, I played in the $75 3 max, and I just happened to have a 5 of 6 that didn't have Cam Young, but had 4 other guys in the top 15, and ended up like saving a meh week for me. But I gotta say, I didn't find it to be the predictive Wyndham. Maybe it was for URB, and we did have some good calls, but I didn't find it to be like the predictive Wyndham leaderboard that we have seen in years past.
Yeah. I mean, for me,
I fully agree. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Reach.
You're good. Yeah, no, I was gonna say I was like fully aligned with that. It's like a big 5 out of 6 week, and I think we went like Akshay is where I got killed, but it was really like Hideki, Spieth, like playing those guys was fun. McCarthy came in through and like on Sunday, but really it was Jackson Coyman, man. He just kept it all really live. So that was some good stuff there. But no, honestly, the outright carried the week.
Yeah, and pretty similar for me. I mean, Svensson missing the cut on the number was brutal. And then very poor weekend.
Too, yeah.
And then Adam Scott and Bez were really bad over the weekend. So basically those three cost me probably multiple GPP wins. So
what happened with Bez over the weekend? He was just like
great question.
Like things were going well for him. Seems like things were going
he was like borderline top 15, top 20 for like 39 holes. And then the ball strike, he wasn't doing anything well. He wasn't hitting fairways. The irons weren't good. He wasn't making putts. So I think he shot 3 over on Sunday.
Yeah. So I'm not going to spend a tremendous amount of extra time on the Wyndham other than congratulations on another excellent week, RB. And we'll certainly look to keep it going this week in Memphis. Hopefully a little bit of a bounce back week for me with my traditional picks and pool. But real quick, and we won't spend a ton of time on this because I'm actually going to do a far more in-depth Ryder Cup pod tonight. But do you think this puts him on the team for you, RB?
I think he needs 1 or 2 more good weeks. I think if he makes it to Eastlake, which he probably should, considering he's in the top 20 right now, I do. And like, I mean, quite honestly, I'm probably biased. I would have him over Goddard right now.
Really?
And I obviously have him over Spieth and Cantlay and all those guys, but I would trust him more than Goddard right now.
What about you, Rishi? Does he make your 12 now?
Cam Young?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I would lean that way too. I do think it's subject to change, as RB and I were shooting the shit before we started here with maybe a good Patrick Cantlay week, but I
kind of feel that way about Burns this week.
Yeah,
I do think there's a lot to change right here, but I would say as of right now, to your question, Cam Young is how I'd look at it.
I don't know, Dave, about Keegan. It felt to me like Keegan made the decision. I mean, we're not going to do a whole Ryder Cup thing now, but it felt to me like Keegan made the decision that he is picking himself. Did you guys get that sense as well? Or
I did, but I think a lot of that has changed now that Goddard won, now that Cam Young won, now that Wyndham Clark's playing well. Like,
Ben Griffin, like kind of low-key sold me on that NLU pod. I don't know if you guys got a chance to listen to that. You should check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, plus, and I mentioned this last week, I wanted to see who Keegan was going to play with. He played with Ben Griffin for the first 2 days last week. So that kind of tells me that he's on the team. So
yeah. All right. Well, anyway, we'll have a ton more Ryder Cup stuff to talk about at ISN over the next couple of weeks. Let's spend the majority of the time talking about Memphis. I was traveling yesterday, so I didn't get to put out a podcast. But I do have about 3,000 words up on InsideSportsNetwork.com on TPC Southwind. I got to tell you guys, I'm not the biggest fan of this golf course. It's pretty dull architecturally. I mean, it really, like, TPC Twin Cities gets shit on a lot. And this is really just a Bermuda version of TPC Twin Cities, where water is the defining characteristic of the golf course. It ranks very much in the middle in a lot of stat categories. And maybe that's what you want for a FedEx Cup playoff event, because like it's a very down the middle golf course that is very just going to reward approach play. Like, I mean, realistically, like this golf course is all about iron play. And you really need to keep the ball in play off the tee, but it's not really a golf course where you can gain like a significant advantage by being a bomber. Like it really just comes down to who is the best iron player in the field this week is generally going to win this golf tournament. That's my take on the golf course. And that if you look at the past couple of winners, whether it be Hideki or Justin Thomas or Lucas Glover or Will Zalatoris or Sepp Straka, all of those guys are like the best iron players in the world at the time. So I don't know if you guys have anything to add, but this is a heavy load up on recent approach play week for me personally.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. It's basically a combination of Florida golf and maybe East Lake a little bit, right? And like you look at the names that have done well here, like obviously Justin Thomas is one here, and in Florida, Xander's played well here. We've seen DJ play well here. Yeah, not much to add there other than a much bigger off the tee penalty than we've seen recently because of the water. But I'm strictly iron play, specifically longer iron play, not as many wedges this week, I would think. And again, I'm sure you'll dig into the course, but I have to imagine with how firm Sedgefield was for last week, I assume this one's going to be pretty firm as well.
Because there were weather delays though, but I didn't actually get to watch the golf tournament. I mean, did it actually get firm and fast over the weekend, or was it still soft?
Firmer than we've seen before. Yeah. And I think that was nice. You saw balls rolling out on the green. You saw pretty good drives roll into the first cut or the primary rough. And like the rough was as penal as I've ever seen it there last week. So.
Yeah, no shots to you guys in the Southeast. I just don't understand why we're going here again in August. Like, is it pleasant for you guys?
Take the shots.
Is it pleasant for you guys to play golf right now? Like, this is the 1 month of the year, like where golf courses in the Northeast really, really shine. Like I was just at a championship golf course in the Northeast for 3 days, and like, it's perfect this time of year. Like this would be the time to like host a FedEx Cup playoff event at like a place like Oak Hill, or honestly, even like Northern California is amazing. I have no idea why we're going to the Southeast for the 7th time this season, particularly on a golf course that really is like this bastardized 1980s Ron Pritchard design that has no character or soul or history. Anyway, we can complain about that another day. Let's talk about the slate. Unfortunately, we have Scheffler to deal with. I don't know about you guys, but coming off that Open Championship win where he cemented himself as like probably one of the 10 best humans to maybe ever pick up a golf club, I ran fast to the without Scheffler market. But what are your thoughts of at the top of the board this week, RB?
Yeah. Kind of regret that I didn't do that. I'm just, it's a small enough field that I just felt like, I think there were some fine numbers there. I really, really like Xander this week. I assume that'll be fairly popular, but not in DFS because everyone's going to play Scotty the way that pricing broke out. We've been talking about it, Andy, every week for the last couple of months. It seems like with the approach play with Xander is just, it's good and it's there. Yeah. He's played this golf course well. Talk about Florida. He's played Innisbrook well. Obviously, he's played Eastlake well. He's played Sawgrass well. Like, I don't know. He crushes the playoffs. I just think that's where I'm going to start my betting card, and can't play both of them in DFS. I guess I haven't tried, but I feel like you can't play Scotty and Xander together. So, yeah, I don't know, but I'm definitely leaning Xander this week.
Rishi, your thoughts?
Yeah, me, usually all leverage, but it's going to be really hard to avoid Scotty with this pricing. Like very, very hard.
Because the week where he gets like 40+%.
Yes.
Yeah. And at higher stakes, I think it'll be 60, 70%, like as you go up. So, and even with that, it's going to be pretty justified given just how he's played. Like you said, best iron player wins. I mean, by a mile, he was probably the best iron player, but yeah, beyond Scotty, Xander has looked good with the irons. The other players that I am going to keep an eye on, I think Justin Thomas is going to be a little bit popular this week. Based on kind of what I've seen, online, things like that. Henley makes all the sense in the world. He's playing world class this season. I kind of like it. I do see myself starting with Tommy Fleetwood. I just, I like Payne, and he's had a very steady floor throughout the season. And in this non-cut event where I feel like the putter becomes a little bit more neutral, I get it as to why it'll be a fit. And I think people will be off him, because I think people will prefer Fitzpatrick this week to Fleetwood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I knew that after Cam Young got it done for all of the Cam Young people, I just had a feeling that there was going to be Fleetwood energy this week. And I have to say, like, purely on course fed, it's obviously a great spot for Tommy. Like, he has been one of the best iron players in the field this year. I've been playing him quite a bit in DFS, and I suppose you can say he doesn't have to win at that price. The Scotty debate for me this week is a difficult one. I don't want to play lineups where I'm starting myself off with a guy that's going to be 45% when there are legitimate guys below him at the top of the board that I really like this week. I like the way Xander's playing. I think that Xander is going to make a very strong push to get on the board this season. I don't think Xander wants to walk away from 2025 as a loss year after he won 2 majors last year. And he's not even in the top 30 yet. So like, he's actually really, I mean, for a lot of these guys, like you see Rory skipping this event, like a lot of these guys don't even really care that much about positioning until next week. With Rory not even being here, Xander actually has to play good golf this week. Yeah. And so I agree with you on the surface, RB. The problem is, and I was having this conversation with Kyle this morning, is it's like, and I know the without market DFS, I haven't decided yet. I did make a couple bets in the without market. Did you bet regularly, RB?
I did. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're so hot at this point. Like no, seriously, like if I had hit like 10 winners this year and I was, on like a hot streak like that, like I probably would feel a little bit more.
I have lost to Scotty a lot.
Yeah. So and Brian Campbell.
And Brian Campbell. Yeah. I was just going to say.
4 losses to Scotty since the Byron Nelson. So it's tough. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Rishi, have you made bets yet? Are you going without or regular?
I hadn't seen RB's card yet. No, I'm just kidding. I honestly, I have not gone to the betting market yet.
Yeah.
I think given like the small field reason, I'm going to just play,
you're going to take
it with the Scotty market. There was one interesting case, and I guess it would be good to point out there. Somebody asked today in the Discord, given, Rory's not playing because it doesn't really matter, which, that's a different topic, I guess. But on a similar notion, does Scotty just not care as much this week? It's like he doesn't really need to do anything. And does that change, the motivation to play him and or bet him?
I think the issue is Scotty cannot care and finish 6th and
fair.
And be optimal,
be top 3 in scoring, right? Like, I mean, even if you get like a Xander or Fitzpatrick, Hovland leaderboard, like you're still going to see a lot of GPPs with one of them plus Scotty. So I think this week is going to come down to that low 7K range, a bunch of names we talked about, Rish, and I think a couple of those guys will be in the top 10 this week, and you just got to find the right ones.
Yeah, I mean, Dave laid it out. His course history here, it's worth noting, hasn't been as solid as I guess his baseline at a lot of other golf courses. But in terms of like the traditional things that I look at when I ask myself if this is a better or worse Scotty golf course, does it favor accuracy or distance more off the tee? Traditionally, accuracy for Southwind, that's a check in Scotty's direction. At this point, between middle irons, long irons, and wedges, his advantage is like almost the same with all of them. It doesn't really matter how long or short the golf course is. This is more of a middle iron golf course. And then like at this point also, he's won enough times on like pure Bermuda. Like I used to like him way more on overseeded golf courses. He's won plenty at Bay Hill at this point. Like Scotty really does like water heavy, I think. I think about like Golf National and Bay Hill, and I think Scotty really likes when there are clearly defined hazards and when other people get their hand caught in the cookie jar for me. Like, I think he likes water heavy penal golf courses. So, I'm probably going to play him.
Yeah. I mean, my only knock on Scotty recently is he's missing more fairways than he typically does, but Xander is not accurate. JT is not accurate. So unless you're really going to start with like a Henley Fleetwood team for, hey, I want to hit every fairway, I just don't know how you fade Scotty with the build and the way it is this week.
Yeah. Okay. So you already talked about Scotty and Xander. RB, just go from JT to Cantlay. Just give me your favorite and least favorite in that range. One big stand and favorite play from JT to Cantlay.
Yeah. So, I mean, unfortunately, seems like he's going to be popular, but I did bet Victor Hovland this morning. I've seen quite a few people on him.
Did you hear there's somebody in the Discord that said that is a member at Blackburn's club and said that he was out there visiting Blackburn. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I mean, he went to go see his coach. Your mileage may vary on what that means.
I mean, look, the iron play's been, I mean, the iron play's been back to where we saw it end of last year, right? He's pretty much been perfect since the Florida swing with the iron game. Obviously won at Valspar, which we can comp to this golf course, and he's played really well here. I'm not really worried about a bad Open Championship. He was kind of out of it, but he played well at the U.S. Open, played well at the Scottish, played well at the Travelers for the one day before withdrawing. I don't know exactly what that was, but obviously seems fine. So I do like him a lot. I do like Fitz, but I feel like he's going to be the most popular. So, but I would say Hovland and Fitz are clearly my top two in this range.
Least favorite. Got to put your balls on the table.
I mean, Morikawa. I don't know.
I kind of like Morikawa this week, but
Me too.
I knew you would.
Like for the golf course,
I knew it was a safe space.
But like, he just hasn't done anything. He's obviously messing around with caddies. He's messing around with his coach and swing.
Who is his caddy this week, by the way?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was thinking about that.
I don't even know.
He's probably either going to get a rental or he'll go back to one of his college teammates like he did last time. So
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I have no idea, but he's just lost right now. And like you mentioned Xander, who has a lot to play for. Like Morikawa is still going to make East Lake, barring like something crazy, but he's got a lot to play for too.
Yeah, Rishi, 9K range, favorite and least favorite.
I kind of already tapped on Fleetwood. My favorite play might be Patrick Cantlay this week. And it's partially it is the leverage piece of it. Yeah, how we play, but that's how we like the game. But it's also like good driving, good on approach. And I guess you could literally say this throughout the whole season. It's like we've talked about this before we started here. If he can get the putter even going a little bit, it's go time. And I think I'm ready to lean into that this week. I think I like Cantlay more than Morikawa this week. So that's interesting to me. As far as plays that I like the least, I don't know. I'm not as confident. And you said like JT on the way down. I don't really I get why JT could be good here, but I don't love the JT play this week. I don't think the driver is like always that accurate. Well, it's kind of been hit or miss this season, but just relative to where I think he's going to be owned, I would rather just move up to Xander or, move elsewhere to Henley. I just don't love the play with JT.
Totally same page. JT was going to be the guy that I highlighted as my least favorite as well. I just don't think he's hitting enough fairways. Like it's really interesting. JT's like current stat profile. He gains strokes putting every week and still can't find a way to accumulate any form of consistent results. And it's because I don't think he just doesn't hit enough fairways. Like he misses off the tee in both directions and he's always live for a big number, which I think derails too many of his rounds. And I just don't think his game's sharp enough right now. And I think like in these FedEx Cup playoffs, we're probably going to see someone just get really hot. And I think you can accumulate. I think you could build upon prior results. I was talking about this with Kyle this morning. To me, that seems like the most likely candidate for that right now is Russell Henley, where you just have a guy that's playing amazing golf, super high level of confidence right now. And he's going to a golf course that fits his game really well. Like this golf course is so much like PGA National in Florida. It's just target golf to its most pure. My only concern with Henley is like, it feels too obvious to me where this guy is literally number 2 in the model this week to Scotty Scheffler for me. Like, he's got 4 top 10 finishes in a row. Is this the classic Russell Henley letdown spot? He's not as good. This is just like the sell high point, or does he have it in him for one more week? I go back and forth on it. Like, I'll probably end up seeing what the ownership is and finding kind of a demarcation point where it's like, you know, if Henley gets to 22, 23 plus, I hop off and maybe bet the outright. But I don't have an anti case for Henley right now based on any golf reasons other than this is like a sell high point. He's playing outstanding, and this golf course is an incredible fit for him. I already talked about JT. Now, I would say with Morikawa, it's really interesting. I was catching up on my research this morning because I was playing a lot of golf for the weekend, and I'm still behind. And the Morikawa stuff, like, I remember after the Open Championship just being like, I'm fucking done with this guy for life. I can't believe how much of a bitch this guy is. And I start diving into the Morikawa stuff, and it's like, damn, he's like, he is really close. Like, there is a lot of good stuff going on. Like, it's incredible what the mind will do if you take a couple weeks off, like how quickly you'll forget how much he fucking murdered me at the Open. But anyway, talk about the 8s, RB. You could just go favorite and least favorite.
Yeah, well, I think once again, as we do every week, this range starts and ends with Aaron Rai, who I expect to be the most popular again.
What do you make of the 30-1? I just like, I get it, guys. Like, he's accurate too, but that's
not in this. I barely understood it last week in that field. I certainly don't understand.
I liked him last week.
Sure, but yeah, I still didn't bet it. But yeah, he was great last week. He should be. I don't think this course is quite as good for him since it's not as wedge heavy. So I'm happy to fade Aaron Rai. Like, I think you have to start with Cam Young and Chris Gauthieron. I mean, these are probably the 2 guys who have the most to play for right now.
The Bash Bros, the Northeastern Bash Bros.
Look, we've talked, and I'm going to lean Cam Young again. We talked about these sort of courses. He hasn't played well here, but the ball striking has been good here. The putting hasn't been, and he's a top 10 putter in the world right now. So if you trust his putting stats from this year, which was one of the reasons why I bet him last week, and it obviously worked out, like, he can play this golf course. He can play Valspar. He can play Sawgrass. He can play PGA National. And I don't think he's going to be popular this week. So I am in on Cam Young at, was he 8,200? And then I'm going to go back to Hideki this week. 8,800. Played really well over the weekend, had some really good iron play in the final round specifically. I told you guys, I had no recollection that he won here last year, and it looks like he has pretty good course history beyond that. So Matsuyama, Cam Young, probably my 2 favorites here.
Rishi, 8s?
Yeah, gosh, I hate being in alignment with Dave, but I love Corey Connors this week. I just think it's an awesome fit. And I think given like recent injury, which there is a little risk there, I think you'll get a little bit of a discount on ownership. It's who he's next to as well. Honestly, I like the whole range. Like, I could make a fair argument to play a lot of these guys. I guess the guy that I'm definitely feeling like I'm going to be out on is Keegan, and it's not really for any huge cases. I just think there's better motivation around other guys that I like more.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I think Keegan's in kind of a weird spot. I feel like he now kind of has talked himself into, like, he really, if he's going, I just think there's a lot going on with him right now. And I think he's put himself in somewhat of a difficult position based on how well some of these other guys are playing at the back end half of the team. And it's a golf course that he's never seemed to really like anyway or respond to. He's more of a bent than a Bermuda guy still in my eyes. So I'm going to pass on Keegan. I love Sam Burns this week. I really do. I bet him to win. I just like this golf course. Obviously, he's played really well in the past. I think this is a classic case of like a guy in amazing form who goes through a really hot stretch and then he cools down for 1 or 2 weeks, almost like what happened with Cam Young. And then it's like, okay, boom, blows the doors off again. when you get a little bit of a better number when not as many people are on him, like at a golf course that is, he's had a ton of success at before. I trust his driver. He's actually driving the ball in the fairway right now, which is not always the case for Burns. And obviously he is the best Bermuda putter in this field over the last 3 years. Mm-hmm. This is still a tournament with a high enough greens and regulation percentage where you could totally win this thing with your putter. So I'm all over Burns this week. He's my pick to win. I agree with Corey Connors. By the way, I'm a huge Corey Connors fan this week. I think I really like Corey Connors on golf courses where it matters whether you hit the fairway and are a good iron player and the greens aren't hard. And like this golf course fits that to a T. Like these greens are really flat and really dull, and they don't take any putting skill at all. And it is just straight ball striking target golf. Like, can't think of a better possible golf course for Corey Connors if I tried. So 7K range, RB.
Yeah, so I definitely like the lower sevens more than the upper sevens. I think this range kind of starts with Daniel Berger. His form has kind of dipped recently, but the ball striking hasn't. Right, that's still been there. Just the results haven't been there because of the short game. And I mean, what better course than his favorite course in the world, probably. Yeah. So won here twice. Obviously, a weaker field, different field a decade ago, but also has a fifth and a second here. So, I expect him to be very, very popular. I will probably play him a bit. The only other guy up here in the high sevens that I think I would have interest in is Robert McIntyre. He's got good course history. Also kind of seems to be sneakily course proof. I don't really know any bad courses for him at this point. And then I have to mention Wyndham. I don't recommend playing Wyndham Clark this week, but I'm going to mention him because I bet him for the upside. But like, I don't think it's a good fit for him. I don't think it's necessarily a good spot for him. But at 55-1, I just took a shot there.
Rishi sevens.
Yeah, I mean, I love a lot of the plays here, and some of them, RB mentioned. I like Bobby Mack. I like Wyndham, of course. Not great history, but I think Shane Lowry is an awesome fit here at an awesome price at 7,400. Yeah, it's just like it makes all the sense. I don't know if it is just like the big guy being overly sweaty in Memphis hates it. I don't know, but I like him here. I also like Jason Day here a lot, and for a lot of the similar reasons, I think he can putt really well here as well. And then just more broadly, RB and I were talking before we started here, like a lot of the people that I liked last week, you can like here for the same reason, like in the ones that disappointed, Akshay, Glover, like there's a lot of reasons why you can go back to them this week and they'll be lower owned in that like 7K range, which will be pretty pivotal if you're playing Scotty, especially.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think there's some guys I really I love the Bobby Mack call. He's just like hot right now. Like I think Bobby Mack is just going to finish the season on a high note. I'm going to keep playing him. I'm definitely going to play Berger. I mean, I've been on Berger. You have to, yeah. Yeah, I've been on Berger all year. Like I believe in the ball striking. He hits fairways at an absurd rate and has been a great short to middle iron player all year. He's got great course history. I mean, like if he gets to be insane chalk, then I will look to fade him in DraftKings, but I bet him already in the without Scotty market. I agree with Lowry. Down here, I mean, Denny was very good for me last week and he's been solid at this golf course. What do you guys think about Spieth? I can't. Spieth and Decky are the two players that I actually think have been maybe the most difficult to predict all season in terms of just like, I just can't get a read on like, are they playing good right now? Are they playing bad? Like there's no through line right now. I feel like with Spieth.
It's just inconsistent, right? Like he's got days where the irons are good. He's got weeks where the putter is good, but ultimately when you drive it as wildly and as poorly as him, like you're going to make a lot of bogeys and you can't afford that here because they're going to be doubles and triples. So Spieth, yeah, I'm out on Spieth this week for sure. I like what reset about the low sevens, like that whole range of like Akshay, Glover, Poston, like play them all. You talk about course fit, you talk about pretty good form. I think any of those three would be very viable this week.
Rishi, sevens. Yeah, RB started. Do sevens for us too, Rishi.
Oh no, I mean Lowry. Okay. I'm back on.
We did sevens for you.
Yep.
Okay. And now sixes then. Okay, because I already talked about the sevens as well, so we're covered. I'm used to the bigger 7K ranges where you have like it went by so quickly. I'm like, wait, there's got to be more players for us to talk about. Dude, it saves so much time on ownership. Like when there's 70 guys in the field versus 144, I'm not even kidding. It probably saves 6 to 8 hours of work per week if the field's chopped in half on ownership. I didn't get a chance to watch that show. Did you guys watch Stephen Capper's show last night? There's been multiple references to it in the Discord.
Not yet.
Yeah, I'll check it out later this evening. Yeah. Okay, finish us off with the sixes, RB.
So let me ask you a question, Andy. If you had to guess FedEx Cup ranking of Sungjae Im, what would you guess?
I was just
how is he in the field? He played well last week, I know.
He's
but
29th, Andy. 29th in the FedEx Cup, and I have no idea how. But so
it's such an unserious system.
Gained on approach.
Serious.
He played really well for 2 3/4 days. He didn't play great over the weekend. But again, if you talk about a guy with a course fit who's going to be 3% owned, I am willing to gamble on him this week for sure. It pains me, but I feel like Tiger Nico is in play this week, especially as a pivot potentially off of guys like Griot and Kevin Yu, who are always over-owned. I definitely like Griot quite a bit at this golf course, so he would probably be my favorite. But if you're looking for a pivot, Nico. And then just one more, horrible course fit, but absolutely nuked his irons the last 2 events. Patrick Rogers is 6,100. He gained 10 strokes approach last week at the Wyndham and gained nearly 8 at the 3M. Granted, that was only 2 rounds because he missed the cut, but just a lot of upside there for 6,100, especially when there's no cut. So Patrick Rogers, if like you're jamming Scotty and Xander and you need a 6,100, Patrick Rogers this week.
Rishi, sixes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to take a bet on Sungjae this week. You know, first time gaining on approach since, I don't know, January maybe. But as a continuing on the people that we liked last week, like I liked Michael Kim, and I think he played well for 3 rounds. He went way overboard on Sunday, but I like him here. Might actually like him a little bit more. So could see that being relevant this week. And then, towards the bottom, I mean, I'm just going to try to avoid the chalkier guys, which is probably the Grillos and the U's. I mean, honestly, I could see myself taking shot on somebody like Tony Finau. Like, why not? Like 6,500, you throw him in a Scotty lineup, just see what happens in a non-cut event. I mean, that's the type of player that I'm going for. It's like that long-term talent.
Fair enough. I have a couple guys that stood out to me. I mean, I'm mainly going to look for iron play in the 6K range. I mean, you have no cut. Griot stood out to me right off the bat because he's been hitting a ton of fairways as well. I know he was like mega chalk, or not mega chalk, but he was quite popular last week and ended up being okay. I don't expect him to have that type of popularity this week. So for me, the guys in the sixes were Griot. I don't know what to Siwoo Kim just keeps like looking great to me statistically and then missing cuts. So I think I'll probably hang on with him for one more week, even though that's been killing me quite a bit. What do you think about Gerard, RB?
It's tough. I feel
wouldn't this be the spot for Gerard, 6,700 on a approach course?
Yeah, I still prefer him on a course like Wyndham, where it's more iron play than long iron, and he just doesn't putt well enough for something like this. So I'm going to say no to Ryan Gerard this week.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Oh, I have yes or no on Ryan Fox and Kevin Yu?
So I would say more in on Fox than you.
Okay.
Fox has done well at some club down golf courses in Europe, but certainly concerned about accuracy off the tee for both of them this week.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't have anything more. Great, tight 40-minute show. If you like the look of this and you want a far more detailed version where we have ownership and the weather, we will be back Wednesday evening. But until then, at InsideSportsNetwork.com. Come hop in. When does the U.S. Open start, Rishi?
Last week of August, so in about 2.5, 3 weeks.
Okay, sweet. So right now you're in some qualifiers.
We're watching.
What's the big? Isn't there a big prelim tournament? Like, isn't there? What's the one that they all play? Is it Cincinnati?
Cincinnati starts next week. So right now they're finishing up in Canada, in Montreal and Toronto, and then on to Cincinnati. It's a thousands tournament ahead of the U.S. Open.
Yeah, sick, dude. Nick, honestly, great take. Like, it's honestly something you should do the first thing that you get out of bed this morning, and like just not even letting me skate by on that one. I agree with you. All right, guys, that's it. That's it for us, and we will see you next time. Cheers.
See you guys.
See you guys.